Welcome to S&P's European loan market video overview, detailing leveraged finance trends and activity during May 2013. I'm Suchit Gupta, a member of S&P Capital IQ's Leveraged Commentary and Data team, a unit of McGraw-Hill Financial that is not affiliated with S&P Ratings. For the next few minutes, I'll walk you through a review of recent loan and high-yield bond market trends in Europe before winding up with themes to watch for in June and early July 2013. Before we start, please know you can follow LCD on Twitter, Facebook, and can join the over 10,000 contacts in LCD's Leveraged Loan Group on LinkedIn, as well as leveragedloan.com and highyieldbond.com, free websites promoting the loan and high-yield bond asset classes. On it, you'll find recent market stats, news and analysis, high-yield and leveraged finance job postings, and online primers that explain key market terms. The links to our website and to follow LCD's social channels are in the info section on our YouTube channel. You can also download the slides for this video at slideshare.net. Loan issuance was 8.7 billion euros in May 2013, while the high-yield bond issuance was 9 billion euros. According to JP Morgan High Yield Research, estimated inflows into European high-yield funds was 975 million for May versus 555 million for April. This brings the year-to-date inflows to almost 4 billion euros. Secondary markets were down. Loan markets were down 17 bips to finish the month at par 41. While high-yield markets were down 139 bips to finish the month at 103.24. The S&P European Leveraged Loan Index, the LE, finished the month up 0.11%, and default rates stayed roughly the same. Focusing on the secondary loan market, this chart details the average price of LCD's European Loan Flow Name Composite, a measure of the 12 largest, most liquid loans consisting of 10 issuers since 2002. Secondary loan prices fell 17 bips to finish the month at par 41. Loan prices did go up as high as par 61, only to fall 20 bips in the last week, on the back of softness in the overall global credit markets. This is the biggest swing in the last 7 weeks. As a result, the average is at its lowest level since mid-April 2013, although it remains 307 bips above the final reading of 2012. This next chart details the average price of LCD's European High Yield Flow Name Composite, a measure of the 12 most liquid high-yield issues since the beginning of the year 2010. The high-yield market finished the month down 140 bips at 103.24 in the back of a sell-off in the broader credit markets. A sell-off in U.S. Treasuries started last week when the U.S. Federal Reserve flagged the potential for tighter monetary policy. A negative bias subsequently seeped into the credit markets, especially high-yield, where bonds across the board lost about a point. The average bid is now down 202 bips from the 2013 high of 105.26 in early May. Still, it's 28 bips higher in the year to date, having ended 2012 at 102.96. This chart details the monthly return of the LE, a broad measure of European loan market returns that LCD calculates. All returns are ex-currency unless otherwise stated. The European loan market had a positive return of 0.11% for the month of May, down from the 0.88% seen in April. This brings the year-to-date return to 3.19% versus 4.63% for the same period last year. Now we turn from the secondary to the primary. This graph details new issue volume for both leveraged loans and high-yield bonds. Leveraged finance markets raised the bar in May 2013 as issuance reached a post-crunch high of 17.6 billion euros, split fairly evenly between leveraged loans and bonds at 8.7 billion euros and 9 billion euros respectively. Looking at loans first, the current volume is at its highest level in 2.5 years. Sponsor volume accounted for a majority of May's activity, at 7.6 billion euros, the highest read since July 2008. Behind this impressive figure stand two mega-sized buyouts, each setting a post-crunch record in its own right. First, the 3.3 billion loan financing the buyout of DE Master Blenders, and the second, the buyout by CVC of ISTA. The buyout of DE Master Blenders also makes the top 10 list of LBO loans on record, dating back to when LCD started tracking the European leveraged loan market in 2000. The high-yield market went from strength to strength in May, hosting the largest monthly volume of paper in the history of the market with 9 billion euros issued. This came due to a surge in issuance rather than just a few tickets, with only 5 borrowers issuing deals sized 500 million euros or more. A total of 23 issuers tapped the high-yield bond market in May compared to 12 in March 2011, the month which held the prior record, at 8.4 billion euros. The default rate by principal amount was down to 5.8 at the end of May from 5.9 at the end of April, while the default rate by issuer count fell to 7.2% at the end of May from 7.1% at the end of April. Themes to watch for going forward. GSO Blackstone priced their CLO in May, bringing year-to-date CLO issuance at €1.34 billion, with still a few more managers and vehicles on the forward pipeline, including Carlyle, Ares, Golden Tree, and Alcentra. However, new directives from the European Banking Authority, the EBA, could hinder new CLO issuance. Further spread and yield compression is expected as issuers use both the loan and high-yield markets to reduce existing spreads and vice versa, and they're playing off loan investors versus bond investors to get the best terms possible. Given the buoyant equity markets, expect further IPOs from some sponsor-led companies, allowing them to return cash back to their LPs. The most recent example was Springer filing for an IPO in Frankfurt. And expect more global commingled funds to be launched, combining both loans and high-yield bonds, that will have a focus on both the US and Europe. That brings us to the end of our overview. I hope you found it informative. We'll update the analysis each month and plan to have analysis of other specific European market segments going forward. Check out LCD's YouTube page for other video analysis of the leveraged finance market, including U.S. loan market wrap-ups. The link to this page is in the description for this video. For more information on LCD news or research in Europe, you can contact Anna Cini. You can email her by clicking on the link in the info box. Thanks very much. We'll see you soon.